Shalom, Ahab, Ra, Baraka. First and foremost, Kahala Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, Mukwakadah. In other words, all praise, honor, and glory to Yah. The God is Yahweh. Bahashim is in the name, and Yahweh Shai is who everybody so ignorantly calls Jesus. It's going to be a little different today. I actually forgot my notes. So, okay. Let's just, let's start at Deuteronomy. Deuteronomy chapter 28, KJV. We're going to start from the top. And it shall come to pass, if thou wilt hearken diligently to the voice of the Lord thy God, Yahweh Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, to observe and do all his commandments, which I command thee this day, that the Lord Yahweh will set thee on high above all nations of the earth. So, if we diligently hearken unto the voice of Yahweh Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, he's going to make us above all nations. So, how do we diligently hearken to the Most High? That's the question. It's a very simple answer. By showing our faith through our works. And remember, when you're showing your faith through your works, Sirach, chapter 2, KJV. When you're showing your faith through your works, I'm only going to read 1 through 7, okay? Or maybe 8. No, I think 7 will be fine. Remember, it said if you will diligently hearken unto the Lord. Now you got to keep something in perspective, because you got to remember that there's things that are going to go against us too. But let's go to Sirach, starting from the top. My son, if thou come to serve the Lord, prepare thy soul for temptation. What is temptation? It's when the world calls you back. When you start following into worldly activities, like Mother's Day, for instance. That is a pagan holiday. It is a pagan holiday created by heathens. Set thy heart aright, constantly endure, make not haste in time of trouble. To set thy heart aright is to keep the laws, the statutes within the laws, the direct commands, the ordinances, following the true high holy days. Today is Sunday. That is the beginning of the week. It is not the Sabbath. The Sabbath changes every month with the moon. So it can only be on, I guess it could be on Sunday at some point, but after the month is over, it's going to be on a different day. You got it. So this shows how much everybody studies too, because you don't know what I'm talking about. Set thy heart aright, constantly endure, make not haste in time of trouble. Don't be so quick to try and fix things yourself. Cleave unto him, and depart not away, that thou mayest be increased at thy last end. We're coming in to the last end right now. We're about to be up out of here. The word is about to be cut off. They're criminalizing the truth. I mean, pretty soon it's going to be illegal to read the Bible. In the 1800s, when the so-called black people were slaves, it was punishable by death to read the Bible for black people.
Can I ask you something?
Sure.
Actually, the Hebrew Bible is changed onto, that's been about biblical times.
Oh, really?
That Hebrew Bible.
What Hebrew Bible? Which one are you talking about?
The original.
The original Hebrew Bible was changed.
No, what I'm saying to you is the Sabbath that you just mentioned. the Sabbath does not match modern day.
Oh no, absolutely, you're absolutely right.
So we'll never know because it does.
Well, I do know.
It doesn't.
Because it says in the scriptures that the, let's go to it.
From Sunday to Sunday, it will never match because the
Genesis chapter 1, KJV. I'm going to show you how the days go.
No, but I'm trying to tell you, it's just common sense that today's calendar will never match the Hebrew calendar.
No.
It won't because it's two different calendars. So
No, they
as a
can't.
result, we don't know when the Sabbath is.
Yes, we do. And I'm going to show you right now. So on the first day, the Most High, He worked, right? He worked for 7 days. So I'm going to show you right now how the Sabbath actually works, okay? If you listen and the Bible will speak, I'm not going to tell you out of my own words. I'm going to tell you through the scripture. So let's go down to verse, Genesis chapter 1, KJV, and we're going to go down to verse, we're going to go down to verse 7. Verse 8. And I'm just getting to the point. And so I'm going to skip over everything and go right to the point. And God called the firmament heaven, and the evening and the morning were the second day. So when the sun goes down, we know that that is the beginning of the new day. But listen, you got to let me finish, and then you'll understand. So for 7 days from morning, so already we know that the day doesn't begin in the middle of the night. It begins at sunset. So the new day starts at sunset. That's why it says even to morning was the beginning of the new day. So when the moon cycle goes, we know that we start our days according to the moon cycle. The beginning of the moon cycle, when does it start? From dark, zero moon. Okay, so now we know when the Sabbath is, because we're going to go from, just listen carefully. We're going to go from morning till night for 7 days, starting from the dark moon. So on the 7th day when the moon was dark, now it's got a little crescent to it, right?
No, sir, what I'm trying to tell you is something completely different. The calendar that we have
I understand what you're saying about the calendar. It doesn't match.
Sunday through Saturday, it will never match the Hebrew calendar.
Nope, but what you said is we can never know when the real Sabbath is, and I'm trying to show you where the real Sabbath is, but you're not listening. You're literally blocking up the truth.
I'm saying that the calendar, what I'm saying is completely different. You're talking about apples. I'm saying here's oranges. I'm saying the calendar, just the calendar itself, Sunday through Saturday. All right, what I'm saying to you is that the Hebrew calendar never was like that. It was not Sunday through Saturday.
No, we didn't use heathen gods for the names of our days.
Well, whatever you say.
I mean, just all the days. Saturn, Sol Invictus for Sunday, and then so on and so forth. They're all literally Greek mythology, pretty much.
And that's another issue. What I'm saying is that the calendar will never match the original Hebrew calendar. Will never match 2 days calendar. So as a result, we've lost the time of when the Sabbath is.
Now can I tell you when the Sabbath is? Because you keep telling me I don't know when the Sabbath is, but the Sabbath starts when the moon is the first day of the month. The first day of the month is when the moon is dark. So if the moon is dark on a Wednesday, and then so when is the Sabbath going to be? It's going to be 7 days after that Wednesday. It's not going to be on a Sunday. So I do know when the Sabbath is because I follow the scriptures. I understand the scripture. So when the moon is full, it's saying that we also should have a high holy day and blow the trumpet also in the feast days. So the new moon, the full moon, and on the feast days. That's Psalms 80. It's either 81 and 3 or 80. Yeah, it's 81 and 3. And it tells you when to blow the horn. So when it's the new moon, it's literally when it's at 0%, when it's completely dark. 7 days after that is the Sabbath. So I do know when the Sabbath is.
Sure, but some religions, they cling on.
I don't have a religion. I have a book and a family instruction. Like this is an instruction book about our families. So if you're an Israelite, this book is literally your family history. So when you go into it,
I'm saying Saturday is a day that modern day people have chosen themselves for being. It's wrong because the Hebrew Bible does not match the today's modern calendar.
yeah, that's what we just agreed on.
Well, that's all I'm trying to say.
I-
We'll never know.
You keep saying saying that we'll never know when the Sabbath is, and I keep telling you the Sabbath starts 7 days after the new moon.
Most people will not adhere to that, sir.
I don't care. That's not for me. My job is to come out here and preach to the highways, in the highways and hedges, and preach to the wind. The wind are the Israelites that are asleep. Now, whether they choose to wake up or not, that's a different thing. You can lead a horse to water, but you can't force him to drink. I can tell you the truth. Now, whether you accept it or not, that's up to you.
I'm just talking.
No, I'm just saying, like, in general, not you personally. In general, a person will either accept the truth or they'll forbear the truth. Forbear means to reject.
I'm just trying to tell you that there's some groups that they really cling on to Saturday of the
Yeah, but
modern calendar.
Seventh-day Adventists.
But we know that they will never, those calendars will never match up. And so as a result, we don't know. What you are describing is in something else.
No, I'm describing the Shabbat, the Sabbath. I know when the Sabbath is.
Okay, sir. I'm trying to say something. Anyway,
You said what you had to say,
Right,
and
yeah.
you said that we don't know when the Sabbath is and we could never know. That was your point. And my point is telling you, if the moon starts at a certain point, 7 days after that would be the Sabbath. So we got to go from what we know. So that's why it says to keep the laws to the best of your ability according to your knowledge. And if you don't know about it, then you can't actually do it. But now you're actually finding out whether you choose to accept it or not. That's up to you. But the Sabbath this month is from Wednesday night to Thursday night. So it's already been, the Sabbath is already over. And next month it'll be from Thursday night to Friday night.
and also it's chosen because most people in the modern day world now, they will hear it in this country Monday through Friday. That's the general standard. And I don't think that their supervisors will let them off on that day just because they've said it. For example, the example you said Wednesday, they won't let them off of work for them. So
In this captivity, you're going to remember, you're going to be subject to payment, right? So how are we going to not, how are we going to be slaves and just be able to do what we want?
well, what I'm saying is it's a whole different issue, and we both voiced it, what we thought. Thank you.
So anyway, you can see people don't understand the truth. It's just that plain as day. I told her 100 times that the dark moon is the beginning of the month. She said we don't know when the Sabbath is. We do know when the Sabbath is because we've been studying this I've been studying this for 10 years. I know when the Sabbath is. I know when it changes, and I don't care if other people accept it or not. That doesn't have anything to do with me. I'm not here for your acceptance. I'm here to teach the scriptures. Now, if you can accept the scriptures, then all more power to you. Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai is dealing with it. If you reject or forbear or be a forbearer, however you want to say it, that's also between you and Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai. I'm here to teach the truth. I'm not here to debate. And you know what? Let me go back into it. So, we were in Sirach, getting ready to start a class. Now, whatsoever is brought, we're going to go right to verse 4 and keep moving. Whatsoever is brought upon thee, take cheerfully, and be patient when thou art changed to a low estate. To be cheerful means to have faith. Shalom, Akim. Shalom. Shalom. So it means to be cheerful means to have faith. It doesn't mean to be happy that bad things are happening to you. It means to know that the Most High is dealing with you. Okay? And be patient when thou art changed. Be cheerful. Take whatsoever is brought upon thee, take cheerfully. Have faith in what you're doing. When thou art brought to a low estate, be patient, okay? In other words, don't be so quick, like in verse 2, constantly endure, make not haste in time of trouble. So when it says to be patient, it means to not just pop off and try and fix everything yourself. Pray on it, fast on it, read the scriptures, get instruction from the elders. Let me keep going. For gold is tried in the fire, and acceptable men in the furnace of adversity. So, and I've told you this a million times, everybody should know this by heart. How do you know when gold is refined? It's when you can see your reflection in it. So when Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai sees his reflection in you, when he sees you reflecting his works, that's when you know that you're being refined in the gold of the Most High. Now, acceptable men in the furnace of adversity. So what are we in? We're in adverse times. So when you jump over to Matthew 24 and 24 and 13, it tells you that, let's just get it. Let's not paraphrase. Matthew chapter 24, KJV. It says 24 and 13, but he that endure until the end, that same shall be saved. So the same shall, so that person that's going to keep doing the works, no matter how adverse these times get, that person's going to be saved in the end. Let's go back into the scriptures. Let's go into Leviticus chapter 20. We're going to jump around. Leviticus chapter 20, KJV. And Leviticus chapter 20, KJV, and we're going to start at verse 22. Ye shall therefore keep all my statutes and all my judgments and do them, that the land, whether I bring you to dwell therein, spew you not out. So he's saying as long as we're keeping the laws, we're not going to get kicked out of our land. Now, remember, this has already happened to us. We're in captivity right now. So this is getting ready to happen again. He's about to put us back in our land. And this time he's going to remove the stony heart and replace it with a fleshly heart. So we're always going to be in our land at this time. After this is all over, we're going home. So let me read it again. You shall therefore keep all my statutes and my judgments and do them. Follow the instructions you were given. It's not a grievous thing. It's not tough to keep these laws. People lied to you if they told you it is. They just taught you against them. So that all my judgments and do them, that the land, whether I bring you to dwell therein, spew you not out. And ye shall not walk in the manner of the nations which I cast out before you, for they committed all these things, and therefore I abhor them. In other words, the reason why Yahweh Hashem Yahushai removed all these nations from their spot back when we left Exodus, because they were never about keeping the laws in the first place. They never kept any laws. Do you think that the Israelites were the only ones that are supposed to keep the laws? No. This book is to the Israelites. The Israelites are the chosen people, but everybody's supposed to keep the laws. So they're going to get spewed out of their land again, and they're not getting it back this time. Let's go to 23. And you'll not walk in the manners of these nations which I cast out before you, for they committed all these things, and therefore I hate them. 24. But I say unto you, you shall inherit their land. So we're getting ready to take their possessions, and I will give unto you to possess it, a land that floweth with milk and honey. I am Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai, which have separated you from other people. Ye shall therefore put differences between clean beasts and unclean beasts, between clean fowl and unclean fowl. You shall not make your souls abominable by beasts, by fowl, or by any manner of living thing that creepeth on the ground, which I separated from you as unclean. So not only do they worship false gods, they carve their own idols, but they've also taught us to eat unclean foods, unnatural foods, GMOs. But I wasn't even going to get into that. I read one too many, but I started to break it down. Let's go back over to let's go back over to I'm going to get a precept, I think. Let's see. Mark chapter 16, KJV.
sorry. I'm having way more issues today than ever. I didn't even remember my notes. I'm just trying to remember them as I go. Mark 16 and 19. So after the Lord had spoken unto them, they received up from heaven and sat right hand of God. That's not what. Why is that even in there? I didn't even bring that out today. I did a class with my children this morning. It was the greatest class ever. And let's go to Luke. Luke chapter 9, KJV. Sorry that Mark scripture just didn't line up with what I was looking for. 9 and 62. That's no man having his hands on the plow. See, I got home. I'm trying to remember all my notes. That's why I write notes down. So let's just go back into it. I'm just going to stick to the very basic. Deuteronomy. Deuteronomy chapter 9 and verse 5. Let's see. Let's just go back into it. I'm just going to be jumping around a little bit. I literally forgot all of my notes today, but I refuse to not. I'm not going to go. I live 20 miles outside of town, so we're just going to have to deal with it on this class, and I'm not going to try and make it any shorter. So let's go to Deuteronomy 9 and 5. Not for thy righteousness or for the uprightness of thine heart. You know what? Let's go to the chapter. Let's go to the whole. Let's go to the whole chapter. Deuteronomy chapter 9, KJV. Not Deuteronomy. I'm like all over the place. All right, guys. Take a deep breath. All right. Let's go to 9 and so go to 9 and 5. Not for thy righteousness or for the uprightness of thine heart dost thou go to possess their land, but for the wickedness of these nations, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai doth drive them out from before thee, and that he may perform the word which Yahweh sware unto thy fathers Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, the only people that are actually chosen. So let me keep going though. Understand therefore that Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai giveth not thee this good land to possess it for thy uprightness, for thou art a stiff-necked people. So he's not giving us this land because we're great people and we're just righteous. We're not. We're a stiff-necked people. We have a stony heart. 90% of us out running around still. That 10% is literally the 1/3 right now. We're still trying to build. One more thing. 7. Remember and forget not how thou provoked Yahweh to wrath in the wilderness from the day that thou didst depart out the land of Egypt until ye came unto this place. Ye have been rebellious against Yahweh. So all the way since Exodus, we've been rebellious, and it shows in society today. You can just tell that we're rebellious people by the way we live. Look at the world around you. Tell me that this is where this is heaven. The world was given into the hands of the wicked. This is the wicked heaven. This is the opposite of what we would consider heaven. In fact, also in Perah you provoked the Lord to wrath, so that the Lord was angry with you to have destroyed you. But he didn't destroy us, did he? No, because we're chosen people, a royal priesthood, right? Let's keep going. Let's jump over to, let's stay in Deuteronomy. And let's go to chapter, it looks like 12. We got a glare right on that one too, dang. Sure, Deuteronomy chapter 12. KJV. We're gonna go to we're gonna start at verse 28. So this is Deuteronomy 12, starting at 28. Observe and hear all these words which I command thee, that it may go well with thee and with thy children after thee forever, when thou dost that which is good and right in the sight of Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai. So, observe and hear all these words which I command thee. So what is he saying? He's teaching the laws. He's telling you, follow the laws, the statutes, the commandments, the ordinances. He's saying, stay in the laws. And when thou dost that which is good and right in the sight of the Lord thy God, we'll have our inheritance. So by keeping the laws is how we receive a blessing. Shalom, my friend. Shalom. So, verse 30. Verse 29. When the Lord thy God shall cut off the nation from before thee, whether thou goest to possess them, and thou succeedest them, and dwellest in their land. 30. Take heed thyself that thou be not snared by following them, after that they be destroyed from before thee. So he's saying, don't follow after the people that just destroyed right in front of you. But what are we doing? We're following them. That's why everything's coming to a halt. All this is getting ready to be destroyed. Nobody even cares. Just running up and down the street, happy-go-lucky, and think that nothing's ever going to happen to you. This place is on its final hour. So take heed that thyself that thou be not snared by following them, after that they be destroyed from before thee. And that thou inquire not after their gods, like Jesus and actually God. God is a Babylonian word. G-A-W-D. God. It's a Babylonian deity of financial increase. God. Jesus means Hail Zeus or Little Zeus. These are false gods. They've been put in the place of Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, so you guys would not be able to worship or say the name. But whatever, take heed thyself that thou be not snared by following them, after that they be destroyed from before thee, and that thou inquire not after their gods, saying, how did these nations serve their gods? Even so will I do likewise. So, in other words, it's saying, don't get so curious trying to figure out how to serve false gods when the one and only God is your creator and he chose you. Don't follow after them. Don't even be snared. Don't be trapped by them. 31. Thou shalt not do so unto Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai. For every abomination to Yahweh, which he hateth, have they done unto their gods. Sacrifices of babies, eating unclean foods, sexual rituals, worshiping idols and carved, graved images. They've done all these things to their gods. even their sons and their daughters, they have burnt in the fire to their gods. So one more verse. What things soever I command you, observe to do it. Thou shalt not add thereto nor diminish from it. You know, I really like that. We're going to have to get a precept on that. Because he's saying, what I told you to do, don't add to it, don't take away from it. What do they do in the Christian church? They tell you that that we're in the new covenant and that the laws are done away with. That's adding and taking away. But wait, let's see what the scriptures say about this adding to it and taking away from it. What's the consequence of that? So let's go back over into Revelation chapter 22. KJV. I actually just don't even have notes today. No notes today, guys. No notes today. Go down to verse 18. And yeah, Revelation 22 and 18. For I testify unto every man that heareth the words of the prophecy of this book, if any man shall add unto these things, Yahweh shall add unto him the plagues which are written in this book. 19. And if any man shall take away from the words of this prophecy, Yahweh shall take his part out of the book of life, out of the holy city, and from the things which are written in this book. So, you change anything in this book, what is the consequences? Everlasting death and suffering. What's the consequences? All of the plagues of this earth being upon you. So go ahead, change it up all you want. But the true prophets are back, and we're going to bring out the truth. And people hate us for it. It's a good feeling. Let's go over to 2nd Esdras, chapter 6. Second Esdras, chapter 6, KJV. Starting at verse 54. And after these, Adam also, whom thou madest Lord of all thy creatures, of him come we all. And, there's more, and the people also whom thou hast chosen. So, the Most High Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai, he has a chosen people, and then there's other people, because we all came from Adam, right? And now, O Lord, behold, these heathen, which have ever been reputed as nothing, have begun to become lords over us and to devour us. So, we're the ones that have been chosen as the chosen people, but we didn't follow the instructions. So, by not following the instructions, the ripple effect, the repercussion, the consequences to that is that the heathen began to be lords over us and to devour us. I just told you, the Most High told us not to wonder about their false gods and how to worship them. First thing we did. We're still worshiping false gods to this day. No one even knows the real name. No one even knows I have to say God so people know who I'm talking about. That's horrible. It just shows how far gone we are. It just shows how far gone we really are. And so I wanted to I might as well read the last two verses of the chapter, right? But we thy people, whom thou hast called firstborn, thy only begotten, and thy fervent lover, are given into their hands. If the world now be made for our sake, why do we not possess an inheritance with the world? How long shall we endure this? So why don't we have an inheritance with the world, since the world was made for our sake? Well, that is very easy to answer. There's a very easy answer for that. Deuteronomy chapter 28, KJV. This is how easy this answer is. Verse 15. But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh, to do all his commandments and his statutes, which I command thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee. So it's a simple answer. Why are we the top, but we're at the bottom? Why are we supposed to be on top, but we're really on bottom? We didn't follow the laws. He literally said if we don't follow the instructions, it's going to take us down. So we all suffer different curses. Not everybody's going to be poor on the streets. I mean, look at Floyd Mayweather. He's an Israelite, one of the richest people on earth. Shalom, Akim, shalom. We all suffer differently. That's the thing. We have 613 curses to choose from. 613 commandments. My bad. We've got from Deuteronomy chapter 28 and 16 to 68. Pure curses against us that we've lived out for 2,000 years now. We've been living these curses out since Exodus. Actually, it's about 5,000 years we've been living these curses. You think you're ready to start following the laws yet? No? Let's keep going. Let's go over to, one other thing I want to say about that, because we're reading it right out of Esdras that everybody came from Adam, but here we are, the ones that are, how would you say it? We're the chosen people, but we're oppressed, right? And why are we oppressed? Does anybody know? We didn't keep the laws, right? So by not following his instructions, the result of that, there's a for every action, there's going to be a reaction. So if the action is to have to try and worship the same gods as our enemies and the heathens, when the Most High told us not to do those things, the reaction is we serve them now. In fact, what does Job 9:24 say? The world was given into the hands of the wicked. They covered the faces of the judges thereof. If not him, where and who is he? So who's running this joint? Who's the controller of this place? What country's going into every other country and putting garrisons in their country? And a garrison is called a base. So who puts a base in every country and then tries to take control over them? Who does those things? That's right, America. America. Who's doing this? The world was given into the hands of the wicked. So who are the so-called wicked? Think about it. Who are the wicked? Is it our people that are lost, all drugged out, walking the streets because they don't know up from down because they've been oppressed for too many years? Or is it the people running this joint? Is it the people with all the money, the ones that are the real drug dealers that make laws against you after they pump the fucking place full of drugs? Who are the real oppressors? What is Job 9:4 talking about? Who is it really talking about? Think in your mind. Who owns this town? Who owns this town? When you go to South Africa, what do they look like there? They don't look like Africans. Think about it. Who was this land given into the hands of? The world was given into the hands of the wicked. Why? Because the Israelites didn't follow the laws. They didn't keep any laws. No statutes, no commandments. They wondered how to keep the other heathen laws, how to follow the other nations. And it's just the truth.
So when, and it's funny, Kanye West, was slavery a choice? Yes, it was, because we could have chose to keep the laws, right? Right. Yeah, if we got to keep the laws. If we keep the laws, we get blessed. We don't keep the laws, we end up taking a shit out on the streets.
Correct.
In front of people, and then laughing about it because you think it's cool.
Correct. You're
Shalom,
right, Pastor.
Hakim. Shalom, shalom.
Shalom.
I'm just
Go ahead.
just out here, just you
Go
know,
with the flow.
yeah. It's
I'm here to listen.
You know what I'm gonna go? I'm gonna go with that. Let's go to Peter's. Let's go to
All right,
First Peter's.
First Peter, let's go.
Sorry, my computer's a little slow.
It's okay.
First Peter's chapter 2, KJV. Let's go back into what I just told you 5 minutes ago. Adam created all people, and he created a chosen people. And those chosen people didn't keep the laws. Right now, we're the ones in captivity. It says right here, when you go into First Peter's chapter 2, starting at verse 9. But we are a chosen generation, a royal priesthood, a holy nation, a peculiar people, that should show forth the praises of him who called you out of darkness into the marvelous light. So you're standing over there, now you're standing over here. He's
Correct.
calling you out of the darkness into the marvelous light today.
Correct.
You're the only person listening. Everybody else, they hear it, they laugh about it, they scorn, they make jokes.
Those who have ears
To hear, let them hear. And so, and you know what? In every class I say, if you have ears to hear and eyes to see, Most High will, you get something out of the message I'm bringing. So, like I said, we're being called out of the darkness into the marvelous light, which in time past we weren't a people. We're right now. If I say I can go around and call myself a Muslim, I can call myself a Christian, I can call myself Hispanic. You know what Hispanic means?
what is it?
His property. I call myself a nigga, I can call myself anything, but if I say I'm Yasha Allah, Prince of a godlike power, Yasha Allah, or Israelite, all of a sudden, all hell breaks loose. All hell's got to break loose. But why? Oh, and then what do they do on TV? On the television, the first thing they do is they tell you, these black, what's the word black mean? Black means destitute of light, or to be evil. Why do you think it's Black Friday? A black hole. Everything that's black, or dark night, it's always got to be something evil. Why do you think they're calling us black Hebrew Israelites when there's Asians that look like Asians that are Israelites? There's Mexicans, Israelites, black people, Israelites, white people, Israelites. It's not a skin color. It is a bloodline. What blood runs through your veins? Who are your forefathers? That's the truth.
Where do we come from? From the black race. I call it the African American race.
No, we're not
The
Africans.
Africans.
Because
What are we?
Africanos, Scipio's Africanos was a map maker.
What are we?
And Americo Vespucci, well, those are two Italian people. I'm not an Italian. I'm
What
not
are
from
we?
Africa. I'm from here.
Yeah, you're
I'm a
native.
Gadite. In other words, I am an Indian.
Native.
I am a Native American. Indian actually means savage.
Native. Sounds better.
That's why they call us
Amen.
Indians. And you darn Indians, because they're calling us savages.
I am at the Hamaran from the other side of the border.
Tono
because-
Hotom?
Yeah, Tarahumara we call it in Spanish. Because
Gadite.
these fuckers they put in the border and they leave some Tahamarans over here, some Tarahumaras over here, and they wouldn't let us come and do ceremonies and smoke peyote and weed. The fucking white people made that border to separate us.
Yes, they did. In fact,
Because we're one
through the land that
continent.
my people, and also through my tribe too, he's not telling a lie, because it goes right through our land too. Half of our people are Mexicans now, and the other half are Americans. And then we were relabeled as niggers. It's all in their books. You want to hide something from a nigga? Put it in a book.
There's Jackies here. There's Jackies in Mexico. There's Jackies. You know Jackies? Yaquis is a tribe. Yaquis.
Oh, the Yaquis.
Pascual Yaqui.
No, there's so many different tribes. I have to be honest, I don't know the names of not
Pascual
even half
Yaqui.
of them.
Pascual
Pascual.
Yaqui. Brother, I gotta go shower to the YMCA. I'll come back, okay? You're the real deal, okay? Never give up. You are speaking the truth.
Thank
the
you,
truth
bro. Thank
and
you.
only the
Water.
truth. You're channeling from the Father, okay? From
Water
Allah.
over Rakatan.
Water.
Water over Rakatan. Thank you and blessings. Thank you and blessings. All right. So let's go back to 10. Which in times past we were not a people, but are now the people of Yahweh, which had not obtained mercy, but now have obtained mercy. So we're coming back into our strength. We're coming back into our mercy. The Most High is getting ready to rebuke all nations. He's getting ready to put correction out on everybody. He's literally going to put a stop to all this wickedness and bring righteousness back into our land. And how is he going to do it? We all know, with fire. If you don't know, now you know. Everything he's going to burn with fire. Shall I show you? I mean, I don't have any notes today. Might as well grab it. Why not grab it? Isaiah chapter 66, KJV. For behold, Yahweh will come with fire, and with his chariots like a whirlwind, to render his anger with fury, and his rebuke with flames of fire. For by fire and by his sword will Yahweh plead with all flesh, and the slain of Yahweh shall be many. So he's going to come out here and he's really going to set things straight. In fact, where is it in? Is it in 1 Corinthians chapter 12? Let's find out. 1 Corinthians chapter 12, KJV. No, that's a different thing. No. I can't remember. And his arrows will not come back void. So now we're going to see what kind of fire this is. Over to Isaiah chapter 55. Isaiah 55, KJV. Let's get it. Sorry, guys. I'm just, here it is. So shall my word be that goeth forth out of my mouth. It shall not return unto me void, but shall accomplish that which I please. And it shall prosper in the things whereto I sent it. So when he's coming with fire, he's letting you know that he's telling you it's not going to be void. In fact, let me get one more. And my arrows will not return void. What chapter and verse? Jeremiah chapter 50. Jeremiah chapter 50, KJV. So when you go down to verse 9, for lo, I will raise and cause to come up against Babylon with the assembly of great nations from the north country, and they shall set themselves in array against her. From thence she shall be taken, and their arrows shall be as of a mighty expert man. None shall return in vain. So when they shoot these nuclear weapons, they're not going to go back to their place. They're coming here. And according to the Most High, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, he's going to make sure they hit the target. go back into it. Let's go back to the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 7, KJV. A lot of drug addicts out today, guys. A lot of them. Deuteronomy, chapter 7 and 6. And it sucks for when I see all my people in the position they're in, because 7 and 6 says that thou art a holy people unto Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. And the Lord, Yahweh, hath chosen thee to be a special people unto himself, above all people that are upon the face of the earth. And the Lord didn't set his love upon you, nor choose you, because you were more in number than any people, for ye were the fewest of all people. And the reason why it says that, because we started off with Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. All nations were established already. There was only 3 of us. We started with 3 people. That's it. Abraham, Isaac, and the promise to Jacob. So, So let me read it again. For thou art a holy people unto the Lord thy God. The Lord thy God hath chosen thee to be a special people unto himself, above all people that are upon the face of the earth. 7. The Lord did not set his love upon you, nor choose you, because you were more in number than any people, for you were the fewest of all people. Because Yahweh loved you, and because he would keep his oath, which he had sworn unto your fathers, Abraham, Isaac, and then the blessing would be through Jacob, hath Yahweh brought you out with a mighty hand, and redeemed you out of the house of bondmen, from the hand of Pharaoh, king of Egypt. What does the word Egypt mean? It's a Greek word. The place everybody calls Egypt, it's actually called Metarim. Metarim is one of the sons of Ham. He named a city after himself. The word Egypt is a Greek word. So when the Roman Greeks came over, they said Egypt. They said bondage, slavery. This was the land of slavery. So the word Egypt means slavery. So when they tell you you live in spiritual Egypt, it's because we were brought here on slave ships. If you're a Mexican or a native nation, you were taken out of here over to Europe on slave ships from South America. Come on. But, so, now therefore that the Lord thy God, he is God, the faithful God, which keepeth covenant and mercy with them that love him and keep his commandments to 1,000 generations. Only talking about the Israelites. Only talking about the Israelites. There's nobody else this book is talking about unless you're going into slavery. Because we're the ones in slavery now. We're the ones suffering the bondage. We're the ones subject to payment. We're the ones that can get a life sentence for a pair of socks out of a store. And believe me, I saw a video. A dude got 25 years. 25 is a life sentence. So when you do 25 years in prison for stealing a pair of socks from Goldman and Sachs or whatever, some rich store, so you could have dry feet. I don't know why he was stealing a pair of fucking socks in the first place, but 25 years? Excessive. Excessive. I mean, that's a misdemeanor. You know that we're the ones that they're going after. When they said it was time for us to get the V Nation, blacks, Mexicans, and Indians must get first. They must have that V Nation first. Okay. Let's jump around some more. Let's go over to Isaiah. Let's go right back in Isaiah. Isaiah chapter 61, KJV. Let's go right to verse Spirit of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai came upon me, because Yahweh hath anointed me to preach good things unto the meek. He hath sent me to bind up the brokenhearted, to proclaim liberty to the captives, and the opening of the prisons to them that are bound. And I'm going to tell you that prison is your mental state. You're imprisoned in your mind by living part of the worldly system. You think that this is the right way to be in. You just do, or you'll say things like, "Oh, I'm just doing it for the children." So he's trying to break you free from that. And you shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free. So to break you out of the prison, they have to tell you the truth. So let's keep going. Let's keep going. Verse 2, to proclaim the acceptable year of Yahweh Bahashem Yahushai, in the day of vengeance of our Lord or God, to comfort all that mourn. So we're out here mourning right now. We live in the balance. We don't know what's going to happen from one day to the next. But let's keep going. To appoint unto them that mourn in Zion, to give unto them beauty for ashes, the oil of joy for mourning, the garment of praise for the spirit of heaviness, that they might be called trees of righteousness, and the planting of Yahweh, that he might be glorified. Okay, we're coming into the acceptable year of the Lord. Like I said, we're not going to be out here much longer. Act now while supplies last, because there ain't much space left in the 1/3 part of the kingdom. In fact, you ain't getting in unless you were sealed from the beginning of time anyway. Like I said, to come out here and teach, it's foolishness to the Most High, but he wants to see our works. He can do anything he wants. He just likes to see us do our works. You don't get it. And let me keep going. And they should build the old wastes. They shall rise up from former desolations, and shall repair the waste cities and desolations of many generations. And strangers shall stand and feed your flocks. And the sons of the alien shall be your plowmen and your vine dressers. So in other words, when the world is realigned back into a correct order, the other nations are going to become servants. And the Israelites are no longer going to have to be servants. That's why everybody hates the truth of the Bible in the first place. It don't say nothing about anybody else. It only talks about Israelites. The problem is nobody knows who the real Israelites are. So what do? You go to Romans 8 and 16. The Spirit itself beareth witness with our spirit that we're the children of God. Not because you go to some stupid Christian church on Sunday that doesn't teach anything but takes all your money, tells you to soil a seed and go fix shit for them for free. It's not talking about that. It's not. Those aren't the children of Israel. Those aren't the children of God. Now, like I said, the strangers shall stand and feed your flocks, and the sons of the alien shall be your plowmen and vine dressers. But you shall be named the priests of Yahweh. Men shall call you the ministers of our God. Ye shall eat the riches of the Gentiles, and that's talking about the heathens, and their glory shall ye boast yourselves. So we're getting ready to take the kingdom back. We're getting ready to go home. You're going to be destroyed, and you're going to be destroyed through great fire. And the Most High is going to cleanse this whole place. I don't know if you've ever seen what happens when something burns down. It grows back nicer. It's actually good and healthy to burn down a field every now and then because it grows back better. Guess what they're going to do to this place? Burn it down. But America is secret Babylon. It shall no longer be inhabited for all generations. Let's jump around a little bit more. Sounds like I'm starting to lose my voice. Let's go to Revelation. Revelation chapter 5, KJV. just going to verify that when you guys become slaves, that the Israelites are going to be the ones that rule over this place. So let's go ahead and get a precept. Revelation 5 and 10. And let's go to let's just read let's start with 9. And they sung a new song, saying, Thou art worthy to take the book and to open the seals thereof, for thou wast slain and hast redeemed us to Yahweh by the blood out of every kindred and tongue and people and nation, and hast made, so he's taken us from every nation. Just because we'll look like other nations, that doesn't mean because you look a certain way, it makes you an Israelite. The Israelites look like all the other nations. You have, like I said, you have Asians, you have Caucasians, you have so-called people that look like Africans. I don't care what country you come from, it has to do with your bloodline and who your forefathers were thousands of years ago. You got to go back to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, who the promise is through. So he's going to redeem us to Yahweh by the blood out of every kindred, tongue, people, and nation. Let's keep going. And has made us unto God, our God, kings and priests. So he made us kings and priests. Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai is going to make us kings and priests. And what are we going to do? We shall reign on the earth. So all these people at the bottom that everybody's laughing at, that are doing the real works, the ones that aren't taking a bag, some of you guys, that's your only problem. You want money over, you want riches over righteous. You want to be rich instead of righteous. You can't be both. You can, but you can't get it the way you're going at it. You can't teach this book for money. That's just, there's no blessing in that. You receive your reward by taking people's money. I think I have like a couple more verses. This class is all over the place, I know. Whatever. Deal with it. Let's go to 2 Timothy, KJV. Whoops, wait. 2 Timothy. 2 Timothy chapter 2, KJV. So I'm just going to read this. I don't remember why I put it in here. We're going to start at let's start at 7. Consider what I say, and Yahweh gave the understanding in all things. So what it means by, that's why when we say we have the 100% truth, that doesn't mean I can measure fire or calculate the wind. It means that the stuff that the Most High taught in this book that he told us to teach to other people, I correctly understand it. So it doesn't have anything about being, I can fly and all this shit. That's a lie. That's just blasphemy. It means that when it says to do certain things, I can explain it to you correctly. So, consider what I say, and the Lord gave the understanding in all things. Those are the things that he told us we could understand. So when you take time to study and look up the words and follow and go back to the Hebrew, now you know why we have that understanding. And anybody gets it that has the spirit on them to do the work. So it's not just something that's, it's not isolated. It is isolated to a point because it's only for the 1/3 right now at this point, but everything will be made plain. So let's keep going. Remember that Yahushai, the seed of David, was raised from the dead according to my gospel, gospel, to the good news. So he fulfilled that prophecy. Wherein I suffer trouble as an evildoer, even unto bonds. But the word of Yahweh is not bound. You cannot stop this truth. And I think I'm going to bring out one more precept, and then I'm going to have to call it. I'm going to have to find one more. Yes, I do have one more. Yes, I do. So, with all that being said, I have one more verse I want to break out with you guys. And then I'm going to close out. I'm going to close out with this. Matthew 24:13. King James Version. Or we can go to any version if you want. But he that shall endure until the end, the same shall be saved. In fact, the only one that says it different is the New International Version. But the one who stands firm until the end will be saved. Every other version is verbatim, word for word. Well, contemporary English version. But if you keep on being faithful right to the end, you will be saved. So do you guys understand? There's a lot of wickedness out there. The first thing I told you, if thou comest to serve the Lord, prepare thy soul for temptation. The last thing I'm going to tell you is that he that endureth until the end, that same soul shall be saved. So if you can handle the temptation and endure keeping the laws while people are making fun of you, joking about you. I've even heard some people say that the prophets are in dresses and they just have a lot of good things to say, but nothing truthful, just funny. They like to make jokes. But the real joke is when we go up into the kingdom and everybody has to bewail us. You know what? I got to get that one. And they lie dead in the street for 3.5 days. What chapter and verse? Revelation chapter 11, KJV. And the reason why I went, because I just said, all these people that are making fun of us and they think we're funny and everything's a joke, we're going to be the ones laughing when this happens. And after 3.5 days, this is Revelation 11 and 11. After 3.5 days, after 3 days and a half, the Spirit of life from Yahweh entered into them, the Israelites that were asleep. They stood up on their feet, and great fear fell upon them which saw them. Now listen here. Listen very carefully, people. And they heard a great voice from heaven saying, come unto them. Come up hither. And they ascended into heaven in a cloud, and their enemies beheld them. So, it's funny because I'm pretty sure that's what Christians call a rapture. But clearly it's talking about the Israelites. Lying dead 3.5 days in the street was 350 years of hardcore bondage slavery. Who did that? Who else became nigger skin boots, nigger skin shoes, suits, book covers, you name it. They used our skin for that. They boiled us down into lip balms. Who else went through that? So when we lie dead 3.5 days in the street, it's only talking about the Israelites. Bunch of fools out here today. It's only talking about Israel. We're the only ones that suffered that. Well, every nation's been in slavery, but not every nation has been nigger skin boots, nigger skin suits, book covers, boiled down into lip balms, used as food. That's the dark secret. Read the book called The Delectable Nigger. You will find out that the breeding camps back in the 17 and 1800s were for people eating other people. You gotta learn. This shit ain't fake. This is some real shit they've been doing to us. And you wonder why destruction's coming. Revelation. Revelation chapter 22, KJV. Shalom, Akio. And behold, I come quickly, and my reward is with me, to give every man according to his work shall be. So I like to finish every class with that, because you better remember what you're doing in this world and all your worldliness and how you've turned and taken your hand off the plow. To take your hand off the plow and to look back means that you have stopped doing the work of the Most High and went back into enjoying worldliness and breaking God's laws. So I'm going to say it like this. I'm going to just stop right here. If you have eyes to see and you have ears to hear, I'm going to go and close out and say I just hope you were able to, Most High One got something out of this message. And double honors to all the elders of GMS who I study with daily, starting from the top, Elder Apostle Tahar, Gabar, Uriah Love, and down. I don't know everybody's names, but I do know one thing. You guys are all sincere, righteous teachers. And with that being said, Shalom.